until
Shawn Michaels, you need to go to therapy. Because what's going on?
I need his car repossessed. I need his rent foreclosed on.
As my thing is this, bro.
Leave him. I need him to
If
work
you have
in
a,
his life.
if you,
I knew he was about to say something crazy. But who gives a fuck what Hulk Hogan is doing?
Get that man out my life. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know what else happened at NXT. Hey, Pillman, we need to hold.
are you now? Is it really a pause, kid? Is it really a pause? This
It was a
said,
pause.
Give me a high five.
I love it.
Oh, completely over been hilarious.
And I'm gonna say Solo at Survivor Series. Trying to do something with this. They gotta do something with
They
Roman.
made 2 niggas get 3 niggas get up. Damn. Hello, 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 hello. With my Yankee brim that's kind. Oh shit! With my Yankee brim that's kind of fucked up. The back kind of came out just now. Welcome to episode 2 of My Camera is Slanted. Episode 2 of All Elite. Wow! The Saints guy is in here. All Elite Waffling.
I'm off today.
Oh, well.
How y'all feel?
Y'all-
Let's do not talk about it. Let's do not talk.
How y'all feel? What this
Oh, I see
nigga
what
got a
you're saying,
haircut? What the fuck?
See you.
Yeah.
Look at him looking fresh.
Oh
People on
my god, this episode is already fucked up.
Look at this man. He got the haircut, he got the chain on. Yo, you know he about to pull some LSU bad. He's later tonight. He going out
Oh, I
tonight.
got an Elvis shirt. So I don't know.
Oh.
So he a rock star at the same time. This nigga crazy. That's what I gotta say. But how y'all feeling today? It's a
I'm
nice.
good.
Stressed. I'm stressed.
You stressed? Why you stressed? It's a nice day outside. I see
Oh,
the
yeah,
clouds. The clouds is starting to come down. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we on the West Coast over here. You know, the heat kind of dying down. We getting to that point. You know, fall about to start. So you know, we cooling down. I can go back to wearing hoodies outside.
I thought you said something else. I ain't gonna say what I thought you said, but I thought you said.
You know, we
something.
gonna move on. We gonna move on.
Yeah.
We gonna move on.
Today, we're talking about the biggest fumbles. Just like who's that nigga on the Browns that fumbled? I forgot his name. We're fumbling. The AEW fumbles, the biggest
Yes.
mess ups that they've done.
Yes.
Jay White, because we talked about him last week.
Now, defining fumble meaning people who were signed or they have signed that just either was misused entirely or just not good. And
They underperformed in their expectations.
we're gonna start with
Yeah.
with the most obvious one. Jason White, I guess that's his name. What happened?
I
Tony Khan and MJF happened. So it all started. He was still signed with New Japan. He came in as the IWGP champion. He was on fire. Everyone loved seeing Jay White on TV. I was super excited to see him on TV. He had the match of Forbidden Door, I think the Fatal 4-Way with Okada, Hangman, Adam Cole, and him for the belt. He won. He was aligning himself with the Elite because I think around that time, Kenny and them, they were doing like the Bullet Club kind of reunion thing. So they called him in because he was the Bullet Club leader around that time. So everything was going great. And then he leaves New Japan and he shows up on AEW and debuts, and him and Juice Robinson are now Bullet Club Gold, and they seem to be riding a super wave, and then they get the Guns on there, and like I said, they're riding an even bigger wave, and then he runs into MJF, currently, who was at the time AEW World Champion in his run, Bidding War 2024, that type of run, and MJF around that time, he's kind of playing off face. Him and Adam Cole have been teaming. And they lead up to a match at Full Gear. The whole way through, Jay White stole the Triple B from MJF, and he was parading around with it, and he was calling it the Bang Bang belt, and he's like, this belt's mine. MJF never got his hands back on it until I think that Go Home show, but Jay White took it back. But the whole run was phenomenal. He had the belt. He was making promos with it. He would come out and have matches, and he would have the belt, and he was just on top. And then we get to Full Gear, where MJF and Adam Cole, I think, had a match in the pre-show for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. The Guns beat them up and break MJF's ankle. And Adam Cole's already injured by this point. And then they're like, oh, well, if MJF's injured, that means Jay White is going to win the championship. Everything's going to be good, right? Everything's going to be good. Cole comes out on crutches, and he's going to fight Jay White himself. And then here comes MJF, hobbling out on a broken ankle. And then we start the match. Jay White's dog walking MJF all the way through. They have a very, very overbooked match, which we all know leads to MJF winning. And then Jay White goes down the totem pole for like a minute, goes into the Continental Classic. He's winning. He's doing good. We're like, okay, Jay White, like, he took that overbooked finish at Full Gear. That was a little stunt to his momentum. But we're like, this C2 could bring him back. It could bring him back. And we all know what happened with that. They gave it to John Moxley. And
I think Jay White in that Continental Classic was probably either the second biggest or third biggest star in that whole tournament, behind Swerve Strickland. I think Swerve was the top, Jay was the second, and I think maybe Kingston was third.
Oh, yes, because Swerve was coming fresh off, I think, the same pay-per-view. That was him beating Hangman in the Texas Death Match.
Yes, he was, correct. Yes.
So both of them were coming into this on fire. Even though Jay White took that loss to MJF at the same pay-per-view, we still was looking at like, okay, he took the loss, but he can come back and maybe try to get a rematch or something. This Continental Classic can give him back the momentum that got taken away from him in that match. So yeah, and then it ends in that triple threat with Mox, Swerve, and Jay White eats the pin. And then all of a sudden, I'll mind you, also he got tied into that feud with the Undisputed Kingdom joint because they attacked him backstage, which we'll get into that as well. But he loses the Continental Classic, eats the pin to Moxley, and then does really nothing of much with that until the Undisputed Kingdom gets revealed. And then they team up with the Acclaim because the Acclaim got taken out by them too. No repercussions for that. The whole thing was they were supposed to team up to beat up the Undisputed Kingdom. Never fought them once, I want to say. They did the Bang Bang Scissor Gang thing until Jay White and them turned on them. They had the feud for the Trios titles, and then they had a kind of meaningless Trios titles run because they kept getting booked on pre-shows, booked on Ring of Honor, barely any real TV time. And they held the titles all the way until Jay White gets injured, and then they get stripped of the titles. So now Jay White's injured. He's not going to be back on TV for a while. I actually saw a report that says that, according to Sean Ross Sapp, I think he's still injured, and he's not looking to be back anytime soon. So, and that's where Jay White is right now. Honestly, I would say the biggest fumble for that is the Full Gear match. That's what really, it's Full Gear and then the C2. That really hurt a lot of his momentum.
I don't care for dude though, man. I don't. I just don't care for him. Like they fucked up. They really fucked that shit up.
They really did.
It was a generational fuck up.
It was a big missed opportunity for AEW to build up.
I think the It's probably the biggest fumble in wrestling history in the last
I
like
was gonna
20
say
years.
that's their biggest fumble in the. I don't know because CM Punk is technically their biggest fumble, but I would say Jay White without any backstage confrontation and stuff like that, any backstage drama, and just in terms of booking, he is their
Yeah.
biggest fumble.
Because they booked that man. Because like there was nothing they could do about CM Punk. But bro, they had so many chances to like actually like make Jay White as big as he is, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know why they would even book the Full Gear match because like you don't want MJF to win, but you don't want Jay White, or you don't want MJF to lose, but you don't want Jay White to win yet.
Well,
So like,
here's my issue though. If you wanted Jay White to lose, but you didn't want MJF to just like, here's my thing on that. You should have just had a regular match. We didn't need the overbooking of it. We didn't need the whole big thing of Adam Cole coming out on crutches, injured, to try to fight the match for MJF. Then MJF to come out on a hobbling ankle, and then Jay White to dog walk him for about half the match, for then MJF to come back. And then he tried to cheat with the Dynamite Diamond ring and all this other stuff. It was very unnecessary. You could have just had a regular match. And if you wanted MJF, because I think, like I said, he was turning slowly into a babyface around this time. So if you didn't want him to beat Jay White clean, you could have had him beat him dirty with that Dynamite Diamond ring anyway. But there's a whole lot of things that could have been done differently in that match. But because the way the match went and how they booked it, it did not sit well with some people. A lot of AEW fans did not like that finish. Did not like that finish. Very overbooked, very unnecessary. Could just have the regular match. And even if you wanted to like slowly like put that injured MJF thing in there, you could have had him just say, I'm still going to do the match. I'm still going to do the match. You could have had him hobble out and all that stuff. Like, you didn't need Adam Cole to do all that unnecessary stuff. It was completely overbooked, like I said. No need for that. Could just had a regular match. You beat him dirty, and then you go to the C2. And then Mox did not need to win that C2. Like I said, I want Swerve to win that one, but I wouldn't have been mad if Jay White won that because he could have spun the block back. But I guess the whole thing is you would have fought Eddie. But if he was gonna fight Eddie, you could have let him beat Eddie too.
A lot of the decisions that were made around Jay White is the nail on the head was him losing to Billy Gunn in a squash match. That was the nail on the head.
That was bad. That was very bad.
That was horrible.
That was so bad. You just reminded me of that because I legit did not remember that until you said that. I forgot he got squashed by Billy Gunn.
That was one of the worst losses I've ever seen someone take. I was genuinely concerned about what are they gonna do with MJF. That's kind of another one. We're gonna touch on that. Jay White. My screen just fucked up. Hold on. There we go. We're good. Yeah, it was just generationally bad. Like, why the fuck is he losing to a 59-year-old man? I don't think he's 59, but still. Why is he losing to him? There should be no point. If you want to further, like, is that furthering the storyline? Because if it is,
I'm just saying. Billy Gunn is at a point in his career. It don't matter. It shouldn't have to matter if he wins or loses. But then again, at this point, if you fighting Jay White, you should be taking that L. That's just me though. You should have took that L. Billy Gunn did not need to win that match at all. Jay White could have oh man, it makes me mad. But yeah, Jay White fumble due to trash AEW booking.
one of the worst booking decisions.
What a shame.
One of the worst booking decisions ever.
Yeah.
That's that. That sounds like you want to add a person.
Me? Well, I'll say in my opinion, there are fumbling Willow Nightingale badly.
You think so?
Really? Oh, this is an interesting take. Wait, this is a very interesting take. I want to hear this. What makes you think like fumbling Willow?
They're not giving her enough opportunity. They just putting her in a with a long feud with Statlander, which it is going well, but I feel like it's getting a bit repetitive
You
to
mean
a point
Chris Dicklander?
because look,
I
you
I
made her
agree.
lose to Monet, which it makes sense, but also not at the same time since she just came in
She
like
still
right off
should
the
have
bat.
never won that match, but it's okay.
Sec- Secondly, I know that the build up between Statlander and Willow was expected, but even then, like you just putting them off to the side, like you put their match
That was a
at
great
all
match, by the
in
way. That was a great match. I don't know,
Oh
throughout.
yeah,
like
that All Out match was amazing.
I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah,
man.
even though it was good, yes, it was good. Does it deserve to be does it deserve to be at the main card? I believe so. Yes.
Yeah,
I
for a
feel
feud
like
like that, yeah. I mean, best
I
friends
feel
turn into bitter enemies, of course. I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
I did.
Because if it was at like at another company, it would it will be at the main card as well. But I feel like AEW is just they're just underutilizing her and along with the rest of the other
No,
wrestlers in the feud.
no, I get it. I get it. I felt like it kind of got repetitive too. Like especially because they fought the first. I think this is the second time they had the one-on-one match because I remember they had the match on I think Dynamite or something,
Yeah.
and Willow won that one. And then they had the tag team match at on the pre-show for All In, and then the street fight. Um,
Yeah.
with that, now back to the TBS thing, I felt like her run was very short, but I made this point before where I was like, anyone that was going to hold that belt, anyone that that was holding that belt was going to lose it to Mercedes anyway, even if
Yes.
Willow
Yeah.
wasn't holding it. Somebody was going to. Who it could if Julia Hart was injured and they still had her and that she was still champion, and if Mercedes came in, she was gonna lose that belt to Mercedes. Whoever had
Yeah.
that belt, I don't care who
Hmm.
you are, you were losing to Mercedes either way. So she just happened to get the short end of the stick, and also because of the fact that her Mercedes last match before that was Willow, and she got injured, so they tried to play off that whole thing. Um, and Mercedes was supposed to win that match. It was confirmed by New Japan that they were going to build that strong title around her, but because she got injured, they just pivoted towards Willow. Um, but if anything, it ended up being good because Willow had it, and then Julia had it, and then Julia was doing major things with the belt. But that's a whole nother conversation for another episode of the pod.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I would agree. While the match at All Out was very good, I don't think I know they'll probably do another match, but I don't want to see another match because I feel like at this point, because obviously the 2 out of the 3, Willow won one, Stat won one, you gotta do one more to finish it. But I
Yeah.
feel like the one match they had with Willow, I think that was enough. Like I said, I'm not disappointed in the second match they had All Out because it was great, but think I don't think for me there's not enough for me to be super excited about the feud because I like what, and that goes into Tony's thing about the women. There's not enough booking for the women on Dynamite and well AEW in general
Because
for me to
Mercedes
feel
takes up
excited.
30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. It's not. There's not enough time for the women to get me excited about some of their feuds like that. So it felt kind of just not. I don't want to say rushed, but it was good. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more to the feud to give me that to get me excited for it. That's just me though.
Once again, Mercedes takes up 30. Oh, I'm lagging. Shit. Mercedes takes up 30 minutes a week. Oh, no, not even
Yes.
a week. An episode. Of course, it's not going to be enough to book the woman. That's why Shockwave should be just a woman's show. But that's just my opinion. That's just my
Oh, we
opinion.
could talk. Oh, we can get to that. We can get to that at another point too about Shockwave. But let me see. Do you have anyone that you think was a major fumble other than Jay White and Willow for Nev?
Oh yeah, Nev, go ahead. Do you feel like there's anybody else currently?
Because I got a few, but I don't want the whole thing to just be about me rambling about
Even
people I think
though
fumbled.
I have another one. Even though she is currently supposed to get a faction, Deanna Purrazzo has done nothing.
Yep. I was thinking about the Ross. Yep.
Okay.
Bro, she hasn't done shit since Revolution.
She has
Like,
done
come on.
nothing.
She has
And
done
and the
nothing.
Didn't she get someone injured?
I don't know. Did she? I have no idea. I don't know.
That's the only thing I remember. She had a slow and sluggish, bad match against someone that ended up getting someone injured. That's what I remember.
I don't know anything about that. Because it was maybe on Collision or Rampage or something, and I don't watch it at all. It was on Collision. Okay. The only stuff I remember. So from what I remember for her run, she came in for the feud with Tony Storm, and then they had the fight. She lost to Tony. Then she just she came in as face. She turned heel, and then she started the feud with Thunder Rosa, and they had a couple of good matches. They had the street fight, and then the Texas Bull Rope match, which I've said on multiple occasions, both matches were really good. But because I don't remember if the street fight was on Collision, the Bull Rope match was on Collision. But because it was on Collision, I don't think really much of anyone watched it. But she had some good matches. She had a good feud with Thunder Rosa. But like I said, because it was on shows that no one really cares to watch, ain't no one seen it. So.
I think of Thunder Rosa is like she's who I think AEW also fumbled, and some of this is on Britt Baker.
Oh my god!
Most of this is on Britt Baker.
I kind of disagree with that because I feel like some of that is also on Thunder Rosa. I feel like she, for some odd reason, she just gives off like she's negative in the locker room. She just gives it off. So I could be wrong.
It's very much the Britt Baker situation and the fact that she got injured too that kind of stunted her as well. The Britt Baker thing that could okay. I don't really want to get into that because that's a super long story. But in short, I'll put it in short.
The Saraya of the AEW locker room.
Yeah, I'll put it like that. Put it like that. Saraya's another fall off too, but that's mostly. I don't think anyone really cares for that.
Hold on. Saraya can't fall off when she was never actually on top though in AEW.
I disagree.
She came in, AEW Women's Champion. How you gonna say
she was the original transitional champion. What are we talking about?
I'm gonna say that she was transitional, but I'll say this: when she came in, a lot. I would say AEW fans were excited because we're excited. They were extremely excited for this. I was one too because I was like, "Oh snap, Saraya's here!" And she had the matches and stuff. She had the fight. She had the match with Britt. And that was a good match.
And that's where it stopped right there. That's the only good match that happened. Fuck that. Every other match was trash, and you know that.
Wait, I was gonna get to it. Okay. Then she wins the women's title, and then to me, that is the most mid-title reign I've ever seen for the AEW Women's Championship. That run brought nothing to the table.
Robert, you called fucking Willow Nightingale the transitional champ. Bro, Saraya was the original transitional champ.
You know what? You're right. I was making jokes about Willow being transitional champion when Mercedes came in. Really, yeah, you're right. Saraya was the OG transitional champion because they gave that title right back to Cheetah.
Because they knew what the issue was. Hey, like they just knew. Like it was like, come on, man. Like I don't entirely consider it as a fumble, but I consider it as a misfire. That was a misfire.
Like they thought it would be a good thing, but it turned out it was not as good as they thought it was.
And her husband
like on
is just
paper,
a piece
it sounded
of shit.
good.
So.
They're like, on paper, this seems good, but when you do it, it's whack. And then also, like I said, speaking of Saraya, funny enough, there's another person I think that was a major fall off that was associated with her, Ruby Soho.
Well, she got pregnant.
Talk about it.
She got pregnant.
She got fucked. But she been fell off before she even got pregnant. So. She been fell off before she got pregnant. Yeah, because I'll tell you why. She came into Double or Nothing in that Casino Battle Royal, and she got the biggest pop in that whole entire match. She was the last one. She won the match, and was Britt was champion. Britt was champion around this time. She then had the match with Britt, and everyone at this point was kind of hoping that Britt would lose the belt at some point. He was kind of tired of the whole DMD run. He was just kind of hoping for someone to take the belt off. That's just me, though. Then she has the match with Britt, and then loses And we're like, okay, what the hell? I cool. She loses that feud, and we're like, okay, that kind of sucked. But then that's when they made the TBS belt. Everyone was like, okay, okay, we could do this. We could do this. She also won the Owen. She also won the Owen too, right? She won. I think she won the Owen,
I think
or
she
she
No,
lost.
she didn't. She lost to Britt Baker in the finals with the first Owen,
Oh,
and then
right.
lost the next year against.
Okay, right. So she couldn't beat Britt Baker to for the title. She then loses the first Owen to Britt again. So she loses to Britt twice. Then they do the TBS championship thing, and she makes it to the finals with Jade. And no offense to Jade, but she was still mad green around this time in AEW. That's not to her fault because no one trained her. Now that we know, with the information we know now, she wasn't trained properly. So no fault to her own. But she was still madly green, and she lost. And she lost to Jade in that match. Jade became the first ever TBS champion, which, in my opinion, I get why, but it should have been Ruby. It should have been Ruby, hands down. So she got another opportunity slided from her. And then, like Matthew said, she then loses the Owen again in the finals. Like what? And then of course then she's stuck in the Soraya vortex with the Outcast feud, with the whole thing with what's his name, Angelo Parker. I did not care for that feud at all. I thought it was kind of whack, and it was a Rampage feud. That's how I thought it was a Rampage feud. Um, then she gets pregnant,
That's
and
bad.
yeah, then she gets pregnant, and then obviously she's now taking care of her child. So
Like, yeah,
there's that.
she got kicked out of the Outcast, got replaced by Harley Cameron, bro. Like, geez.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. I was there for the moment she turned on Soraya. I was at that Dynamite because the Rampage was filmed in Phoenix. Yes, she turned on Soraya.
And you hold on. You sat there and watched that.
Yeah. Okay. Look, So for that, I'll go on a side note. For that show I went to, that was my second time seeing Dynamite live. They did Ring of Honor because Dark was already dead by then. They did Ring of Honor tapings. Then they did the whole 2 hour live Dynamite. Then they did the tapings for the 1 hour Rampage. That was the same Dynamite where Sting and Darby won the tag team titles, and then the Bucks beat them up, and they had the bloody suits. They wrestled in the bloody clothes. That same Rampage. Um, Soraya and Ruby had the match. I forgot. I think against who was it? It was Willow and Stat. It was Willow and Stat. And then Harley was there too. Ruby turned on Soraya because she found out that Soraya was making up things about Harley messing around with Angelo. And then that was it. And they never really had the payoff because she got pregnant. Um, but yeah, that Ruby Soho was a major fumble because like if you even want to make her women's champion, cool, but you could have made her TBS champion. Like she came in like on fire,
She was on fire
which is
because
crazy.
I remember that episode where she came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I was watching it. I was like, oh shit, Ruby. Let's see what she could do. Let's see what she could do.
And she was one person I didn't think would come out and be on fire, considering her WWE run. But then again, the whole thing with the Riot Squad and all that stuff, I was surprised that when she showed up, everyone was super excited about it because I was like, I was like, okay, all right then.
I ain't gonna lie, she wasn't that good in Riot Squad either. But hey.
I wasn't feeling Riot Squad. That's what I'm saying. A lot of things she was doing WWE was kind of mediocre. So I was like, I didn't really care for it. So I was like, so when she came into AEW and everyone was super excited, I was like, oh, word.
Getting the Riot Squad.
I think people were excited simply because they see like someone that was kind of underutilized and they're getting a new opportunity, and she ended up underutilized even more. So like people like to say shit, but it's just like, come on.
And that's the thing. The Outcast was great on paper. It just was poorly executed. I will say this. I will die on this hill. The Outcast could have been something extremely great, but because of how bad the booking was, it did not go the way it should have. And also, there was the other thing. Tony became bigger than the group. That's the other thing. Tony Storm became bigger than the group, and the way they were booking the Outcast was not good. The whole thing was them supposed to be, we are going to dismantle all the homegrown AEW talent. And I feel like they really didn't do much of that. they should have been beating up all the homegrown talent every single week, and and like I said, Tony became way bigger than the group, and then it just ended there. So
Generational fumble.
yeah, major generational fumble.
Here's another one. Here's another one we haven't even really talked about. Now, I don't know exactly where this starts, and WWE is fumbling him too, but Andrade.
Okay.
I don't think he's entirely. It's kind of weird because Andrade and AEW, he wasn't good. I can't lie about that. But in WWE, I mean, he's former NXT champion, U.S. champion. Now he's back in the feud for the U.S. champion again.
Yes.
He had a great Royal Rumble, and he's a speed champion.
Yeah, he's the speed
now,
champion.
granted, the speed championship, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but did he win any titles? No.
No, he didn't.
He won a title. As much as we crack on speed, he's the speed champion. He's won something. So
yeah, you can talk about Andrade. I don't really know much about that one.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. All I know is that he was mainly there to really focus on CML, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh wait, actually, I do remember much about Andrade. This is the most craziest thing. I remember this though. Didn't he have Vicky as a manager, and then he got rid of her for Chavo, and then he got rid of Chavo? I feel like he had that. I can't remember. I think he had Chavo as a manager, and then got rid of Chavo, and then he ended up with who was it? Jose, was it not Jose the assistant? I don't think it was him. No, he ended up with Lana. It was Lana. Oh, my bad. It was Lana.
Jesus.
Jose was with who? Jose was with who? Oh my God!
Jose was with Andrade at the end.
Okay,
if I'm not mistaken. And speaking of Jose, he's actually WWE bound too, so it's kind of weird.
Oh, word.
Yeah, I believe he's WWE bound, if I'm not mistaken. He was seen at a taping at least. So
okay, but yeah, the only thing I remember from Andrade was I don't remember how he showed up. I don't even remember. Was it Casino? And I gotta look it up now. Because this was kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Truthfully, I
did
forgot
not
how he showed up. But
he did not do much in AEW at all. Let me see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull it up and then we'll go through it. So
he didn't really do anything. And
okay. So he made his debut in Dynamite in June of 2021, and he was managed by Jose. He then aligned himself with Vicky, and then he got rid of Vicky to introduce Chavo as his manager. He would then beat up Chavo, getting rid of him. He competed in the Casino ladder match, which Adam Page won. He then got a pectoral injury, and then he was out of action in 2022. He then returned as a babyface in 2023 when he returned on the debut episode of Collision. He beat Buddy Matthews, and he got in the feud with House of Black Lace, stole his mask. He then won that feud. He was in the Continental Classic, but he finished with 9 points after failing to qualify when he lost to Eddie Kingston. He then got managed by Lana, entered the feud with Miro, and then he would lose to Miro at World's End, and then he would leave AEW to then go back to WWE. So yeah, he didn't really do much of anything. I forgot he had the backstage feud with Sammy Guevara. They got into a legit fight. And I think everyone was saying he was trying to get fired from AEW around it, because I think around because Hunter around this time the whole Vince McMahon stuff the first time happened.
I think Hunter technically took over, and then Vince came back, and then when Vince officially left, that's when he was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think trying to get out of there so we can get re-signed. Because he was also one of the people that was on the list of when Tony was dealing, I think, with like some issues. I want to say Triple H, but WWE was trying to contract tamper.
Oh my God.
he was one of the people that they called. Swerve confirmed it because they said that they tried to call him, but he said for them to talk to his lawyer. So,
Yes.
What?
but
Bro,
yeah,
well,
Andrade
hold
didn't
up,
do much of
hold up.
anything but get injured and then have meaningless feuds.
Hold up, bro. Commercial break, bro. So I'm watching the Niners Rams game. The Rams just scored a touchdown. This motherfucker just did a front flip into the end zone. I shit you not.
Who the hell
But you
is
gotta
that?
see this.
Who the hell was that?
Number 23, their running back
Oh,
on the Rams.
that's Bryce Young. He. Oh,
Yep.
damn.
Yeah, he's
Anyway.
he's about to get back to Canes again.
Did a front flip
Oh,
into the end zone. Damn.
funny thing. Now we're gonna segue because not because considering his last feud in AEW before he left, same person, Miro, major fumble, which I said I want to talk about
Yes,
because now
absolutely.
which we now know he has requested his release from AEW,
Oh,
and it's to very mixed opinion from a lot of fans. So before I say my opinion, I want your guys' opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think because the whole thing with the mixed opinion is that Tony Khan gave him stuff to do, but because
He didn't like
he
it.
would say no all the time because he didn't want to lose because he didn't like losing. That's why he ended up sitting at home because he didn't want to do anything that required him to lose. But also, it was Tony Khan didn't really put in. But also, there's a lot of talk of him of Tony Khan doesn't know how to book monster talent, which we've seen. Wardlow, he's sitting at home doing nothing. Lance Archer only comes in for a cup of coffee when they need him to beat somebody up.
yep.
Will Hobbs is stuck in the Don Callis vortex,
He's also injured.
um, and also injured. And Miro, matter of fact, Tony Khan tried to book him, and Miro was like, "I'm injured. Why are you trying to book me in a match for?" So it's a lot of things, but I want your guys' opinion. Do you think Miro is a fumble, or do you think he's just a product of his attitude because he just didn't want? Because Tony Khan had booking opportunities for him, but because he just didn't want to lose, he didn't accept the bookings.
It's kind of on
I'm gonna
him
let
then.
Shaka because, in my opinion, I think it's a mix. But I'm gonna let Shaka.
Yeah, I feel like it is a mix of both on both parties.
I mean, at the same time, if you're that much of a diva that you don't even want to lose, then like, how much of that is actually on?
Because if he doesn't
Yeah,
want to lose, there's kind of an issue. There's kind of an ego issue there. But then
Yes.
it's also the simple fact that I think he also saw what Tony Khan was doing, not only to the other bigger guys on the roster, but to his ex-wife and to himself. So I feel like it's not necessarily a fumble. It's more so of a, like I said for Deanna Peraza. I think it's a misfire. I don't think
Yes.
they properly
I
thought.
mean, it's more so of a situation where like it just wasn't gonna work.
And
right. Okay.
I don't think Tony Khan thought that there would be any benefit to doing something like that for Miro. And Miro basically took it upon himself to be like, wow, I kind of don't want to be a part of this because if you don't see any benefit of me doing this, then why should I be here, you know, trying to help this company grow? So,
Yeah. Which
which
then takes me, which then takes me to what I was saying earlier, how Tony Khan does not book monsters. Wardlow, another. I want to say it's a misfire too, but I want to say it's a fumble and a misfire because a lot of Wardlow situations are due to very poor timing, very poor timing.
Oh
When
yeah.
he turned on M, because the CM Punk stuff, CM Punk was world champion. It looked like he wanted to feud with CM Punk. He just turned on MJF. Um, then Punk gets injured, and then Brawl Out happens, which then puts a dent in those plans. And then Wardlow's not seen on TV as much. He then comes back, and he's just not saying words. He's just using hands. He's like no talk, just hands, and that
Yes.
seemed to work too. Then the Undisputed Kingdom stuff happens,
yeah,
and Adam Cole gets injured.
Uh, yeah,
Then
because that
then
damn
the whole
ramp, that ramp was freaking. That design was horrible.
Hold up. We want to one moment. Hold up. We want to one moment they could have like redeemed Wardlow. Fucking during MJF's reign. Like, okay, before MJF's reign started at Double or Nothing 2022, I believe it was. Wardlow beat him clean, and not only beat him clean, he fucking devoured him. He
Oh, he
squashed him. He
squashed
ate that
him.
motherfucker for lunch.
He squashed him.
And
Yes.
not once did he get a title shot. He did not get a single title shot in MJF's entire reign, bro. Like, what do we do? He squashed the champion
right.
and never got a shot at the time.
You're right. You're right. And around this time, it's funny because Wardlow said he wanted MJF when he was champion. Because remember, around that time, MJF was dealing with a lot of crap. It was the devil stuff that was going on. Then Samoa Joe wanted to put hands on him, and then Wardlow wanted to put hands on him. But they only stuck to the Samoa Joe thing. So, which then takes me to this: Joe then beats MJF at World's End. The Undisputed Kingdom and the Devil gets revealed.
Yes.
Because Adam Cole's injured, he says Wardlow is going to take the championship and he's going to give it to me. We then get to Joe versus Wardlow, where Joe beats Wardlow clean. And then that was
It's like how are we supposed to take the Undisputed Kingdom seriously if they never win shit?
A lot of things happened with the Undisputed Kingdom. Oh, I forgot. Wardlow was a 3-time TNT champion. He was, but let's be honest, though. Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be real. I want to talk about this too. So he beat Scorpio. Yeah, he beat Scorpio Sky for the championship in July of 2022. He has a bunch of retentions. He then loses the title to Samoa Joe at Full Gear, and his reign ends at 136 days. He wins the title at the next pay-per-view. He beats Joe. Then his reign was cut short when Hobbs beat him by TKO in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and he was champion for 3 days for him to win it back from Hobbs, for him to then lose to Luchasaurus.
He lost to. I swear he lost it to Joe. I swear he lost it to Joe in the triple threat.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Was it that Full Gear match? Was it the triple threat? Let me see.
Full Gear.
Because he lost the belt to Joe.
Because I remember watching.
It was a three-way. It was a three-way. It was a three-way.
Hobbs was in there. I remember.
It was Hobbs, Joe, and Wardlow, and he beat Joe, and then Joe beat him. It was like basically a 10-minute match.
And a lot of people were pissed. I was.
Yeah.
Because
He
I
then
love
beat.
Joe. But I was like, damn, fuck Wardlow.
He then beats Joe at the next pay-per-view. He beats him at Revolution, for him to lose the belt 3 days after to Will Hobbs, for him to then beat Hobbs again, for him to then lose on the same night that Andrade came back. He lost the title on the premiere episode of Collision to Luchasaurus. Wow. Then he returned as a heel, doing all the power bombs and stuff, and then he mentioned that he was coming after MJF, for then MJF to lose the belt at World's End to Joe. He revealed himself as the Devil's Bassman, and then he then won the All-Star Scramble match Revolution, where he received a future World Championship match, and then the following Dynamite, he then loses to Samoa Joe. Haven't seen. That was the same show that Mercedes debuted. It was AEW Dynamite Big Business.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then we haven't
lost.
seen Wardlow.
Big business.
So yes, Wardlow very much fumbled, and also due to just terrible circumstances. CM Punk getting injured and suspended. The MJF stuff. The Undisputed King, the TNT title reign, just them playing hot potato with it for around those months. For him to then leave, come back, join the Undisputed Kingdom, for that to get ruined because Adam Cole got injured, for him to lose clean to Samoa Joe, and then never seen on TV. And I also saw a report recently that said he's just one of the guys they just have sitting at home. So it's not like he's injured or anything. They just have nothing for him to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, which is funny because Roderick Strong and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, also members of the Undisputed Kingdom, are on TV basically almost every single week. So you tell me Undisputed Kingdom is on TV every single week, but Wardlow can't be there with them?
I have a problem with that.
Not at all. No, he can't be there. You know why? Nope. Just no. He just can't be there.
Just no.
Fuck him.
Part of the faction, but can't be
Fuck
there.
him.
The faction's on TV almost every show. Every show. But no, he can't be there. He just can't be there. Him and Adam Cole just can't be
You
there.
can't be there, brother. You can't.
At least
probably
Adam
like,
has a
why? Nah.
Yeah. Adam Cole has a legit reason. He's injured. Wardlow is just doing nothing. Like I said, Undisputed Kingdom's on TV almost every single week, and you're telling me you can't just have him, even if he's not wrestling, you can't have him just stand there and just be a menacing manager for them? Like, he could just be muscle? We can't do that?
No.
Like, Tony, what we doing? Like I said, that goes into the thing of Tony Khan does not know how to book monster talent. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. I just don't know what it is. But first, it's reverse WWE. It's reverse WWE. WWE loves booking monster talent because that's what Vince liked. He didn't like the small guys. He loved the monster talent. And Tony loves the smaller talent, but can't book monster talent. It's a complete 180.
It's fucking weird, because Wardlow's, how old is Wardlow? Like 30 something now? Still?
Wardlow is 36.
Yeah, he still has.
Yeah.
We know wrestling ages are like pushed a lot. He still has a ton of potential. And it's just not being used. And it's sad because you would think someone with that stature and that potential to be used. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
This is according to. Yeah, this is what. Okay, now this is Dave Meltzer now, so I know we all hate him over here. We don't like him over here, but this is what he's reporting. He is reporting that it says for those. Yeah, he says for those asking about Wardlow, he was just shown at the Jaguars game on the 15th, and he's just one of the guys not being used. So that's it. But yeah. Yeah, he's been out of action since that Dynamite. Yeah, he's just sitting at home collecting money. That's all he's doing right now.
Fuck it. Is there any more fumbles here, I think? I got one.
Okay.
Malachi Black.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Really the House of Black in general.
Yeah, the whole House of Black except for Julia.
Yeah,
except Julia.
Yeah.
Malachi, I knew it was over for him when they went on that thing of him not having a singles match for the longest time. I was like, what are we doing? Oh, mind you, another one who came in on fire. And it was Cody Rhodes too. He squashed Cody Rhodes.
Squash Cody, yep. Cody was a
Squash Cody Rhodes.
Squash Cody.
Whoop that man.
Niggas did nothing with that shit, yo.
Exactly.
He didn't get a sick. He should have at least been a TNT champion by that time. Let me see. I'm gonna look that up. Let me look up his timeline too, because I know there's a lot of stuff that happened that they could have gave to him in that run.
Off topic. The Ravens are up 21 to 3 on the Cowboys.
Against who?
The Cowboys.
Cowboys. Oh, shit.
Okay.
I
got the time.
Reporter
I got the
is
timeline.
fucking off.
So he shows up and oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, Sam Laporta got carted off, but 21 to 3. Yes.
Oh, damn.
The Cowboys are going to be tied with the Giants for the worst record in the division if this keeps up. But yeah, continue.
Ooh, all right. So he shows up in AEW in July of 2021, and he attacks Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes as a heel. So he debuts as heel. He then makes his debut and beats Rhodes, laying him out again. He then faces him again. He faces Rhodes again and beats him twice. So he beat him twice. He then gets into the feud with the Varsity Blondes and Death Triangle. Then Brody King debuts, and they do the Kings of the Black Throne thing that they were doing in PWG. Then they would expand to the House of Black. Buddy Matthews then joins, and then Double or Nothing, Julia Hart joins the group. But for most of that time, after Brody King joined, Malachi was barely having any singles matches. And this is 2022. So barely any singles matches. Then they win the trios titles in at Revolution, beating the Elite in March of 2023. They then lose the belts to the Acclaimed August of 2023 at All in the House Rules match.
After having like
And
no
then,
defense, no defense.
yeah,
Yeah, no defense.
I completely forgot about this. His last, like, big feud was him and Edge in that barbed wire steel cage match, a Double or Nothing, where Edge got injured. And the whole thing was that had the feud because everyone thought Malachi was leaving at this point because of the stakes. Edge said if he wins that match, the House of Black will have to follow him. He said he will take the House of Black if he wins the match. So that made me think, oh, Malachi's finally going to win the belt because they're not just going to let Edge take the group, right? He's not leaving. They then had the match, and then there was that spot where it looked like the House of Black was turning on Edge. I'm sorry, not Edge. They turned on Malachi for them to turn on Edge. And Edge wins the match, but he breaks his ankle and his leg because he dove off the cage because he thought he was somehow 20 years old again. And
Because
then
he thought he was gonna do a frog splash or just a simple elbow, but no, the man just landed on his legs. Horrible.
yeah, he said himself on IG. He said I thought I was doing a little too much, and I thought I could do it. He's like I was feeling myself. He said he was feeling himself, and he's like he'll probably never do that again. But yeah, that whole thing got ruined too because of Adam's injury. I don't know, but then again, considering Tony Khan's booking, I don't even know if they were really going to stick to it. If the House of Black was really going to just go with Edge, I think that would have been cool if they did. A whole like House of Copeland, I would have rocked with it. I would have rocked with it. House of Cope, I would have liked it. I would have liked it. Give it a brew type of feel. So, and he was TNT champion, so I would have been okay with it. But yeah, I don't even think. Then the House of Black were doing the trios joints. They had the match at All In and the ladder match. They lost. So yeah, not much of anything they're doing right now. But yeah, Malachi as a single star just got way more.
Wait, hold on. The Panthers are beating the Raiders 21-7 right now.
Fuck!
Damn.
What?
The Panthers are beating the Raiders 21-7 with fucking Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. Oh my God, the Raiders are terrible.
You didn't pick the Panthers.
The Raiders are fucking terrible.
I don't think we
stupid right now.
We didn't pick the Panthers, didn't we?
No
I'm not even surprised.
No one picked the Panthers. We all picked the Raiders.
So I would be surprised if the Panthers went 0-17 this year. They are that bad.
They are, but Andy Dalton must be a way better quarterback than fucking Bryce Young.
To be fair, Andy Dalton did have experience, you know.
Yeah, but isn't Bryce Young the number one? You know, Jamarcus Russell. That's what he's doing. But anyways,
True.
Oh God.
Right now.
Malachi's last match so far was yesterday on Rampage. It was him and Buddy Matthews.
Rampage.
He was on Rampage. This is actually his first match since All In. For the ladder match. It was him and Buddy versus Action Andretti and Leo Rush. This was
fucking kidding me.
This was they said the 21st. So this was Rampage.
The 21st. That's yesterday.
It says the 20th. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Rampage was on yesterday, along with Collision because it's special time.
Oh, yeah. You know how disgusting
like I said, I would.
That sounds,
I want to see what his last singles match was.
Did he sign a
cage match.
Did he sign a contract extension?
I think he did because there was that time everyone thought he was leaving because he was off TV for a while, and everyone thought he was leaving, but he said he wasn't leaving. He was just dealing with mental health issues. So.
Shit, I would. Nigga, the way if I'm being booked the way that he being booked, I have mental health issues too. The hell? Let
me see. Last time he had. It says he currently has a deal that takes him to 2025.
Oh, so he got a short contract extension. Yeah, he's out of there.
Yeah. It says him and Buddy have
He's gone.
Yeah, it says him and Buddy have contracts that take them to 2025.
He's gone. He's leaving. When January 1st, 2025 hit, he making phone calls. He leaving. Speaking of fumbles, the guy who's also leaving, this is gonna be the last one. Ricky Starks.
Good old Ricky.
Oh, okay. I got the timeline ready for this one too. I came prepared. I came prepared.
Ricky Starks, man. Ricky Starks. Where do I begin?
Ricky Starks.
It's just like
Uh, well, we can start with Chris Jericho.
that's a great start. That's a great start. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. I'll say it in the camera. Fuck
Alright.
that
Hold on.
guy.
Alright, Emma,
Funny
shut the fuck up. We trying to hear
funny
that.
enough,
Retire Chris Jericho.
funny enough,
Fucking
that was
boss.
my
Yeah.
first Dynamite.
Take a
Him
break,
and Chris
actually, and
Jericho.
switch up your gimmick.
This is crazy. Okay, but yes,
fuck that. I want Jericho to retire.
You
we
want
we
fired?
we can start with Chris Jericho because he showed up and I know he did the team test stuff, and that was all right. He then goes off by himself, and then he faces MJF for the world title, and he loses. Um, Following that loss, he goes into the feud with Jericho because Jericho was trying to recruit him into the Jericho Appreciation Society, but Stark said no, thank you, which then led to them beating him up. This leads to him and Jericho at Revolution, where Starks beat Jericho, I was there for the Dynamite where they confirmed the match. Ricky said I think because did Jericho beat him? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, no. He beat Jericho, um, and then the Dynamite I went to, he got he manipulated Jericho and tricked him into getting another match with him at Revolution, which Starks beat him again. He then enters the feud with Juice Robinson, which then leads to the debut of the first person we talked about that fumbled, Jay White. Then this leads to the Owen Hart tournament where he beat where upset victory and surprising, he beat CM Punk in the finals to win the tournament. He then tried to challenge CM Punk for his Real World Championship, which then we know doesn't lead to anything. I'm sorry.
It
Wait,
led to
yes,
something. It led
yes,
to a departure.
yes, yes. My
Leaving.
bad. Yeah, he unsuccessfully challenged Punk. He fought Punk for the Real World Championship and then lost. Which then led to him turning heel because he also beat up Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This was supposed to lead to something else, but CM Punk was fired by AEW, which then leads to Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry, not Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson. Well, I guess same person. Bryan Danielson showing back up to have the strap match at All Out with Ricky Starks, which Danielson, I think he won that match.
He won, yeah.
Then Starks won the tag team titles with Big Bill, and they were doing because they beat FTR, and then they lost the belts to Sting and Darby. Like I said, I was at that Dynamite. It was super awesome, great match. They lost in that Tornado tag team match, and that's the last time we saw Ricky Starks on TV. He's now been on Twitter. Anyone that says anything bad about him, he's been responding to people on Twitter. So at that point, yes, it's now being rumored that he's not going to resign, and he might be WWE bound, most likely NXT.
Man, like I said,
I think he's going to beat Ethan Page for the NXT title. It's just a matter of time when that's going to happen. That's all it is.
how old is Ricky Starks? He's like in his 30s, right?
Ricky Starks is 34 years old.
Not about that. I mean, if they do something to NXT, whatever, I would understand. But I feel like, yeah, he is going to continue his Punk. He's going to finish his feud with Punk in WWE.
But yes, very due to circumstance, the Jericho feud wasn't all that great. He did beat Jericho, but it wasn't really much of a big feud. Then he won the Owen, surprisingly, for then him to then get into the Punk feud, but because Punk got fired, that definitely stunted that for him to lose to Danielson, for then him to win the tag team titles with Big Bill, which was a very somewhat I want to say it was a mid run because it was a decent. I want to say it was a decent run. For then them to lose to Sting and Darby, and then Big Bill went on to do learning tree things. And Ricky not doing much of anything but sitting at home collecting a paycheck. So,
It's like
collecting a paycheck.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this for a while, but Ricky Starks was the one who got hurt the most after Punk got fired. He was definitely the one who was affected the most.
100%. He was about to go. Him and Punk was going to be a great feud. That was going to be a very good feud. But because nobody wants to grow up and be adults like they're supposed to be, that could be a whole nother topic for the pod too. The CM Punk situation, because I got major feelings about that, but that could be for another time.
He got major feelings for that, nigga.
Major feelings, especially pointed towards a person that was in that situation. Like I said, that's for another time. We ain't gonna talk about that right now.
Who's currently a champion?
Oh no, he's not champion right now.
No,
Hangman,
no.
champion.
Yeah, Hangman. Yeah.
Oh, that guy. But yeah, we'll talk about that next episode. Fuck it, I'll be the next episode.
But yeah, Ricky Starks. But yes, his only accomplishments in AEW was he won the Owen Hart Cup in 2023. He was the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal winner in 2022. He won the AEW World Championship Eliminator in 2022. He was the FTW champion, and he was a one-time tag team champion. In my opinion, he should have been a multiple-time TNT champion, but
it done well.
Whatever.
You don't buck. Okay.
Yeah.
This. Oh, any last thoughts? What the fuck am I doing? Any last thoughts, guys?
Nope. That's about the most I could think of. Oh, Keith Lee's one, but that's a short one. That's just due to booking.
That's short.
That's due to
that's a short one.
Sickness and the fact that he's, I think, going back to WWE as well.
Yeah, that.
Rick
Ross.
Ross.
A controversial one. Daniel Garcia.
Oh, he's going to.
Oh,
like, come on.
he about DG. I think that is a hot take because he beat Bryan Danielson. I think the Jericho stuff is kind of, even though the Jericho stuff is kind of what elevated him a little bit more, to get to that talent point. He didn't need Jericho. He didn't need Chris Jericho for it. If anything, he should have been in the Blackpool Combat Club, like Danielson said. I think that should have been it. He was a good fit for the BCC.
I think the issue with Garcia is that even though it was over, he started doing the humping gimmick, and that kind of took away from his
his seriousness.
From his seriousness, yeah.
And now he's back to being serious, but then he lost to a guy who's filming movies now, talking about people complaining about his bidding war, which we're talking about that too.
I saw that tweet this morning. I was like, yeah.
No, let me touch on that a little bit. It's funny how his whole gimmick last year was about this shit, and no one cared. This year, no one cared. Literally, no one cared. There was a ton of other free agents that were more important to both franchises than his bullshit. Honestly.
Yeah, if anything, I think if it wasn't for certain people that were on the verge, it probably would have been big. But like guys like Ospreay was a big. That I think they like Ospreay himself. He was talking about the bidding war 2024, but Ospreay was very much more the bidding war 2024. Honestly, WWE wanted him, TNA wanted him, AEW wanted him. Everybody wanted Ospreay. Everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Julia became a big free agent, and freaking Mina basically was a free agent, and then freaking it was just a lot of different people.
Yeah, but his whole thing is, I guess he said he had pre-signed the private deal, so he's like whatever. But like I said, it's whatever. But yeah, DG, he only lost the match because of the fact that they said he didn't resign, so they didn't have him win. But you would think having you win the match would be a heavy favor in getting to resign, but that's just me. I don't run the company though. I don't run the company.
It will persuade you to resign.
Yeah, I would think having you win the match would consider you to resign and then beating up MJF to take him off TV. I think that's better than losing, then beating up MJF to take him off TV. It would have been way sweeter for him to win and then do that pile driver to MJF to take him off TV. That would have been fire. But, because he didn't resign, we can't have you win matches, apparently. So, but whatever.
It's a fucking interesting take how they do that shit over there. But, now, officially, any last words before I edit this and upload
you're going to finish it up. None from you?
None from me. I pretty much said everything I need to say.
None for Mr. Elvis to the left of me? Okay.
Well, I just want to say, Leela Gray, if you're ever watching this, just know I can show you a good time.
Oh, okay.
Then end the record, please. And then end the record.
With my tongue.
God, leave that hair. Good lord.
Hold on, I got something to say. Yo, Mariah, I'm just saying, just hit me up. I got plenty of credit cards. I got a city job too. I got plenty of money to spend on you, baby girl. I'm just saying. You could literally, like, I don't have a credit score, but if I did, you could ruin mine. I'm just saying.
What the fuck am I doing? If y'all gonna do that, yo, now you might as well do one too. Go ahead.
No.
I'm good now. I'm good.
I'm a nice guy. Come
Listen,
on.
Chris Statlander, all you gotta do is tell me you wanna.
I can't even put my glasses
I'm not
on.
even gonna say nothing. Just know, I'll be here and waiting. I'll be waiting. I'll be ready. I'll be leaned back like this while you do what you gotta do. I'll be leaned back. That's it. All right, baby girl. Beat up Willow. Willow, you can get it too. That's it. All right. We'll see you next week.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
Or all elite waffling. We don't know the topic next week. We're just gonna fucking spill.
Yeah,
we'll see y'all next week. Enjoy.
Peace.